Shouts out to ArtBae. Shouts out to ArtBae. The other girls don't understand the things I do. They don't understand the dreams I pursue.
Hello, my name is Bosco and I am a multimedia musician and artist. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, by the way of Atlanta, and I started 10 years ago. I started in church originally, and that's kind of where I got my stripes from and doing that, and then I progressed into doing things for school, so like the school chorus, state choir, and then I went to SCAD and started doing my own music. But I originally started out by just getting my feet wet by doing cover songs to make extra money in college, and from there I started to write and produce my own music. Around, I guess, early 2010, 11, 12, I actually took a break during that time, and I was going as Bosco Band, and we were a band and doing that, and then I just got to a point where I wanted to really redefine who I was and really hone in on the sound and be like really clear on my vision, what I wanted to say, what I wanted to look like, and what my message was, and what I wanted to give back. And from there, I started connecting with different parts in myself that kind of brought the music to life, or a way that people were connecting with me in another way. And in 2014, I came back out, and my first song was Black Book. And I was independent during the time. I wasn't with a label, and I dropped 3 singles on my own. And then in 2014-15, I released a dance track called Names.
What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Talking this talking that is all for the fame.
Names, it came out in 2014 on Fool's Gold record, and it was a collaboration with DJ Treasure Fingers. And the track got a lot of traction, surprisingly, and then A-Track hit me up on Twitter. He's like, yo, we really like your style, we like what you're doing. You know, just send us over some stuff. We just want to hear where you are musically, what you're doing. So from there, once I sent him the track, by that time I had moved to New York. I was working creatively at this production studio, and I stopped by the office and played them some stuff. One thing led to another. They wanted to sign me, and here I am today. My first EP on Fool's Gold was Boy EP, and that came out in 2015. And I feel like for me, that was my first body of work on a label that had true representation. It wasn't like DIY. I had been doing everything myself for so long because I have a background in creative visuals, graphics, and fashion. And I think it was like 6 songs. I don't know, it was a first for many things. It was my first real music video.
I know you're talking, boy. I know you're talking, boy. Boy. And if you want, I know you're talking, boy. I know you're talking, boy. Boy.
Miss Encyclopedia.
I had taken 2 years off to really hone in, like take all of the feedback, all of the learning curves, everything that I had experienced in working on the first project under a label, and applying those things to my newer body of work. On the Boy project, I had worked with a lot of collaborators, and I kind of wanted to bring in and really just write from a very storytelling, more of a narrative and more personal, and also like journal entry type of aesthetic. And I wrote the project between LA, New York, and Atlanta, in between like trips. And I wrote a large part of this was written in the airport, on Ubers, in coffee shops, all of those moments where I just needed to get things out and decompress and tell my story from a different viewpoint, and like leaning in towards my escapism and like processing all of my ideas in the air and it being in the sky and on flights and things like that. It was a chance for me to really hone in on my gift and really focus on my vocals and the visual narrative of B. Yeah. Being from the South, I grew up around R&B and soul really heavy, and my mom was a big fan of Bobby Brown. So I can remember being in the back of her Chrysler, listening to My Prerogative, Don't Be Cruel, and all these other tracks. And she was a huge New Edition fan. And for some reason, that song kind of always stuck with me as a child, as a teenager, and as a woman. And I was working at the time with this producer called Never, and I told him, I was like, yo, I got this concept that I wanted to flip, and he was playing something. I was like, I really think this concept will go with the track that you're working on right now. I was like, don't be cruel, I would never sin, 'cause I will never be that cruel to you. Just be cruel, 'cause I will never be that cruel to you. Don't be cruel, 'cause I will never be that cruel to you. Just be cruel, 'cause I will never be. So I got the concept and I was just like singing it to him, and we had worked on a track for a few months, and then we finished it in LA. But I kind of wanted to share the perspective of like the turning point of a relationship and like settling things, but like being cool, like your intentions, because things like, even it could be romantically, professionally, even though things don't work out, even like in like certain management situations and things like that, that you could split and it be cool. Like you don't have to be cruel just because a certain thing has ended in your life. And I kind of wanted to show the viewpoint, because from Bobby Brown's perspective was the girl was being cruel to him, but I wanted to share light because I know a lot of people have experienced it. Especially I take inspiration from my friends as well, and like listening to their conversations and things that they have dealt with, past, present, and future, and then mixing my experiences and making it something universal for everyone to relate to. And I think that's why people gravitate to that song, because it has such a relatability to it, that I think that everyone can feel, like everyone can feel it. Everyone has been in that space before, and I just think that that's why people like Cruel.
Keys.
Slug is like my baby. It started out as a passion project. We are an art collective that offers agency services, but I wanted to create this world because, you know, I grew up in a small town, but it was always hard for me to connect because I didn't see people that looked like me. I didn't see people that dressed like me. There wasn't really a platform, and especially back in the day, it wasn't social media or anything that to connect like minds together. And I just thought it was so important that, because I was the kid that was in Barnes & Noble, I was the kids in bookstores taking pictures of pictures and trying to find as much knowledge about the outside world and other things that I wanted to do, that I had to envision the world that I wanted to live inside. And I knew that there was a lot of other POC kids that were like me, so I wanted to start this thing that was like a home or a house for our ideas to live in. So I started concepting Slug in 2016 and launched it in 2017 it was only 4 people at the time, and now we are a team of 8 to 9 people. And we bridge the gap between young millennial artists and creatives, providing a platform for them to work with brands and sponsorships and partnerships, giving them a chance to have first one-on-one hand with these companies. I feel like it's important the way that I give back, just like Nipsey Hussle is like providing a space for them and being the liaison and being the beacon for other kids. Like certain people want to hold on to the knowledge and it can only be one, or it could be just be me and number one. But I think the power and the beauty and the strength in numbers is like the key to abundance is gratitude, and the key to abundance is giving. And I feel like the more selfless that we are, the more that the universe gives back to us. So Slug is just that. It's I started in Atlanta, and the name kind of came from people think when they think of the South, they think of it as slow, it's behind the current. But if you think about it, just like the tortoise and the hare, the turtle won at the end of the day. It's not about speed, it's about endurance. And that's what Slug is. And it's about rising to the top. Everyone wants to borrow influence from everywhere, New York and Miami and LA, and it's great. But there's something to be said about the South, and there's something to be said about Atlanta that people get the sauce from. The music, the fashion, the culture, the food. Like, we always rise to the top. So that's kind of where the name Slug came from. I would say build your team first. Network, talk, be very vocal. For me, I was always scared to ask for things, and I think now we're in a better space where people are a little bit more open. But like I said, when I started, social media wasn't even a thing. So the connectability was like only by email. That's all we had during that time. And relationships, like building your relationships. Before you ask for something from someone, offer something. You know, offer your time and your service. I will also say, just get out of your comfort zone, get out of your shell. Like, I feel like a lot of my opportunities and a lot of things that came to me were because I just kind of put myself out there, and I wasn't afraid to like go for it. And it's like, this industry, you just have to be fearless. And I think fearlessness has gotten me into the doors where my talent has not gotten me.
Shouts out to ArtBae. Shouts out to ArtBae. The other girls don't understand the things I do. They don't understand the dreams I pursue.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, just bring it in. I gotta get out of it. Get out of like panic mode. Yeah. It's supposed to be the fun part. The sun is literally like in my face.
Okay.
So I might be squinching. Am I squinching up? Come right here. Come sit right here.
All right, let me see. Yeah, that's a lot of sun. Okay. What about right here? Ooh, and I can get the sign.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's much better.